Autism, a neurological and developmental disorder that affects how people interact with others, communicate, learn, and behave. Yes, that's autism. Cool. That's what I have. I know I never revealed this fact in the video since I'm always talking about topics that's got nothing to do with myself. Yeah. Well, that is a blatant lie because I did reveal that I was autistic in my having no friends video, but not a lot of people watched that video or even remember watching that video, so it seems like a fresh revelation. Even fresher than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's shiny bald head. But yes, I am indeed autistic. Do I like being autistic? Yes, because my brain works differently than most people. I feel truly unique, to be honest. I don't see it as a disorder. Autistic people see the world differently than most people. I can also say no because of the mean experiences I had due to my autism, especially at school. Being autistic at school is not a cute adventure, to say the least. And do you know what's also not cute? Realizing that your personal, most sensitive information might be out there for malicious individuals to exploit. That's why I want to introduce to you to today's sponsor, Aura, who are able to prevent damage from those malicious individuals. In August of 2024, it was revealed that hackers leaked and exposed 2.9 billion personal records from national public data. This data breach leaked highly sensitive information like the full name, addresses, phone number, and social security numbers. This highly sensitive information were put out there for anyone who wanted it. So if you weren't taking precautions for your personal information online before, this should be a huge wake-up call, as the risk of your information floating around online hasn't been as high as it is now. This is why I love Aura, as they make it very easy. Aura monitors your personal information across billions of data points like the dark web and public court records to detect and alert you to potential identity theft. They give you up to $5 million in identity theft insurance should the worst case scenario happen. And Aura has a bunch of other online safety features all in one app, in which you can grab yourself an exclusive deal through my link in the description, aura.com/JohnScully. Your personal information hasn't been more vulnerable online than right now with all the data breaches happening recently. So make sure to protect yourself by going to aura.com/JohnScully, where you can try Aura 14 days for free. Now back to the video. To give you some context, I only went to British public schools. That's one primary school, then an all-boys high school from year 7 to year 8, and then a mixed school from year 9 to year 11. Back in the school days, especially in primary school, I rarely spoke, which is quite ironic considering that I have a whole YouTube channel where I literally get paid to speak. Or how the tables have turned. But I was never like this. I will only speak if I got spoken to. And even if I say something, I will only say a few words and that's it. I hated when the teachers called my name to answer questions. It's not like I don't know the answer. It's just that I feel a bit too anxious to speak in front of the whole classroom. I would just rather observe and be aware of my surroundings. So the fact that I struggled to make friends at school is the biggest understatement of the century. And let's not even talk about my dating life in high school. It was practically non-existent. I was just a typical quiet kid. I wouldn't bother to speak to anyone at school. And it didn't help that I had a support teacher during all my classes, because I couldn't follow simple instructions to save my life. So everyone in my class knew I was neurodivergent. And from my observations, they seemed to have a phobia for neurodivergent individuals, as they avoided me completely. From my words, it seemed that nobody wanted to talk to me at all. And that was perfect. I didn't want to speak to people as well, so it was a mutual respect. I hated being around lots of people. I also didn't like it when there was like 40 people in a classroom. I didn't do particularly well in group assignments, and I loathe school assemblies. My anxiety would literally skyrocket in those set situations. I just wanted to be in my own bubble. I would go to empty classrooms just to pen tap at break and lunchtime and play flash games on the school computers when I had a chance. Speaking of break and lunch, I feel like my autistic trait that always stuck with me throughout primary and high school was me eating the same foods over and over again. I will have the classic jacket potato, beans and cheese, and have the custard and cake for dessert. Oh my days, that was delicious. If that specific meal was out of stock, I would literally crash out. That's why as soon as the bell rang during the 4th period, you would dead see me sprint as fast as I can to the canteen to reserve that meal for myself. And my favorite subject at school was music because it allowed me to play drums for an hour. I am also a very sensitive man. I don't like disappointing people. If I disappointed someone, it will feel like my world is crumbling down to the pits of hell. That's why when students or teachers ask me for a favor, I rarely ever say no. even if it's not in my best interest. I remember every single time after high school, I would go to the chicken and chip shops to buy 3 wigs and chips. After I bought them, random kids in my school would always be begging me for 1 wing or 1 chip. They could have asked anyone who are getting the same thing at the time, but they decided to ask me.
Can I get 1 wing? It's just 1 wing. I'm hungry, bro. I'll bust you 1 wing tomorrow, bro.
Oh man, I hate when they keep asking, man. But me being me, I of course gave them the wink, like a fool. So naturally, they obviously took advantage of my Mr. Nice Guy syndrome and always got what they wanted out of me because I was too much of a kitty cat to stand up for myself. If teachers were shouting at me, it would completely destroy my spirit. It generally bothered me for weeks on end, but no one knew because I masked how I was feeling. Speaking of masking, I'm unfortunately really good at it, as I didn't like it when people in school saw me as the weird kid that no one liked. And yes, I did say I was fine being alone in my own bubble, but it was painful getting ignored, avoided, or not included. In my class, the teacher would ask the students to pick a partner for a task. However, no one would pick me. Bro, I sound like an entitled piece of crap. I said I was fine being alone. Now I'm saying I want to be in a circle. That's probably one of my other autistic traits. I can't make up my mind. Anyways, you might ask, why don't you befriend the other guys on the spectrum? Good question. I just couldn't click with them as they were different. Plus, I admired the popular kids. They were loved by everyone. They got all the girls. They were good at sports. They had everything and I practically had nothing. So I wanted to be like them. I studied and plagiarized their every move and behavior in an attempt to fit in. And to no surprise, it didn't work. Broski, we know you got special ed. You're not fooling anyone. Get out of here, man. You see the pattern? It's not like I ever got bullied in school. It's just that people never took me seriously.
You're trying to join the school football team? You're incapable of understanding the game. How about you go back to playing your computer games where you belong?
Looking back, I just felt like an outsider at my school. But my school career wasn't all that negative as a neurodivergent. There was some positive with being autistic at school, like having the ability to skip the queue at break at lunch. Oh man, I love that benefit. In my high school, autistic people had the exclusive right to skip the queue for lunch. All you had to do was to show your card and you're granted permission to skip the line. This was such a W benefit. While skipping the queue, I remember looking at the kids and they gave the most annoyed look, almost like they wanted to fight me after school or something. Like, broski, chill out. You're gonna get your food, bro. And even though I was exempt from queuing for lunch, I still sprinted to go to lunch. Is because if that jacket potato and custard and cake run out of stock, my guy, like I said, it would have been the end of the world for me. Another quote-unquote special kid benefit is taking your exams in a different room, away from the assembly hall full of students, coupled with having extra time on exams. All my days, this benefit single-handedly saved me from failing my exams. Oh, that's 100% truth. I will always credit the extra time benefit for passing my exams. If I didn't at least finish the whole papers, I would have 100% failed. Broski, I can't imagine taking exams in a room full of students. Some are shitting themselves. Some are effortlessly crushing it like a lullaby dance. No effort whatsoever. And some are even crying because they don't even know what the answers are to any of the questions. Observing all of that would raise my anxiety and destroy any confidence I ever had with that exam. I wouldn't be focusing on writing my exams. I would just be focusing on looking at the students doing their exams and comparing myself and my abilities to them while they're writing their exams. It would be too much to handle. That's why I'm so grateful that I took my exams in a different room where it's just me and few other students. Oh, it was just brilliant. I was flowing by it even though I barely passed. Keyword barely. I did not live up to the stereotype that autistic people are so smart academically. Yes, I had talent for playing instruments like drumming, but I was never academically smart. I just barely got by. Lastly, another W benefit of being autistic at school is the support teachers. Oh my days, God bless their souls. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have coped in high school or primary school. They helped me through thick and thin. No diddy. I appreciate what they done. Now that's my personal experience with being autistic at school in a nutshell. Let me know in the comment section if you can relate. And I go into detail on my experience with making friends in school. So if you want to watch that video, click on the screen right now. Thank you very much.